On today's video, I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes here talking about the Baltimore Orioles, who I think in the American League East have been one of the surprises, and not in a good way, let's put it that way. But again, it is still so early in the season. We have to understand that. We have to underscore that. As the Orioles currently sit in the bottom of the division, 3 games out of the division leading Toronto Blue Jays, but the Orioles currently find themselves with a 5-8 record, and there's a couple of issues. Number one is the rotation, which to me has not been very consistent. Unfortunately, a lot of people could have seen this coming because they didn't do a lot to add, to this rotation. They had a great lineup. Again, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman. Go down the line. They have a great lineup. Jordan Westburg, his second year of Jackson Holiday. He's going to get his feet wet in the majors this year. And there was a lot of questions about who you would start in a theoretical playoff matchup. Who would be your game one starter? Would it really be Zach Eflin? Would it really be Charlie Morton or Dean Kramer? They could have gotten someone like Max Fried or sign a big name free agent. While they increased payroll this winter, and we should applaud them for that, they didn't go out and get a big name starting pitcher in free agency. They did bring Kyle Gibson back on a 1-year contract late in spring training, but he still needs a lot more time to ramp up. And that gets us to this latest piece of news with the Orioles, and that is that Zach Eflin is going to be placed on the injured list. He will be shut down from throwing for a week after he was diagnosed with a low-grade lat strain. So it's another blow to the Orioles rotation, who again will not be getting much of anything from Kyle Bradish after he underwent Tommy John surgery last year. And of course, Grayson Rodriguez has been very slow out of the starting gates as he has had elbow inflammation. He is finally progressing to a minor league rehab stint. So there's questions right now in the Orioles rotation, and I think that's kind of why you've seen this team get off to a disappointing start. Between Charlie Morton and Dean Kramer, they've posted ERAs north of 8, and that's not going to cut it. Zach Eflin was doing well. He had posted an even 3 ERA while working 6 innings per start over his first 3. And then, of course, he got shut down after his latest start in Arizona. So Eflin had been doing fine. Charlie Morton, of course, hasn't been very consistent. Sugano had that mediocre start against the Blue Jays, bounced back a little bit against the Royals. But again, there are questions about what he can provide. So just a lot of questions. Again, not exactly the rotation of a contending team. I would say all the other teams in the American League East have much better starting rotations and should be a lot better equipped to play a playoff series with those guys. So there's questions there. Gunnar Henderson on the lineup side was a little slow getting out of the gates. And then Colton Cowser went down. He's going to be out at least 6 to 8 weeks with a broken thumb. So there were issues with the lineup, but the lineup is still very stout. Every time that I watch them, I think they're a very good lineup from 1 to 9. They have a lot of different threats. They could beat you in a lot of different ways. So the lineup's going to pick it back up, but I just have issues with the rotation. And they didn't do enough to fix that rotation in the offseason. Despite claiming to have all these resources available at their disposal, they didn't really pull enough triggers there. So it's something we'll keep watching. Again, it's so early this season, but the Orioles are off to a 5-8 start, in my opinion, in large part due to the inconsistent production they have gotten from their starters. This has been another edition of American League East Recap, and thank you for watching.